Okay, so I opened my door. This is what's happening. And I didn't have to put too much pressure on my door because the wind kind of blew it open anyway. So we're getting lots of wind and lots of rain right now. We're actually under a severe storm warning for my county. And the counties south of us are actually under a tornado warning. So that's awesome. Come back. I'm not even touching my door, guys. See? Watch. See? I'm using the force. Ah!
If someone in the car,
this is
they're stuck in traffic, give them a call. Say, hey,
directly south of us.
You have to get to the side of the road, even.
There's Charlotte.
Down. I would not want to drive into this.
Right now, there. I'm actually up here.
It's already past that, so they're okay. This is really 77. And this
what?
Is close to the station. This is just to the south of the station here, where we're seeing this strong circulation. I'm looking at the dual pole data.
So I'm going to sit tight here and see what we have to do. Right now it's just rain and wind. And I don't know exactly where this is moving, but I'm going to pay attention. I bought this cup the other day, and in case you can't read it, it says, "Baby, it's cold outside." I bought this cup without realizing it had the lyric to one of my favorite Christmas songs on the cup. The way the cup was packaged, I could only see the snowman, and I thought it was cute, so I got it. But I didn't realize it had my favorite song attached to it as well. That is really cool. That's what I call the win-win. This is old school right here, guys. This is what I grew up dancing to and listening to. Kind of telling my age here, but that's okay. So, the meeting with Lucy's school psychologist went kind of well, went kind of as I expected it to go. And I'm really not surprised at the results when I stopped to think about Lucy and just everything kind of congealed together. Of course, the autism is there, the anxiety is there, which if they would have even asked me, I would have been like, yeah, she has anxiety issues, which is really, really common with autism. But apparently, she also has mild Savant syndrome. If you didn't know anything about mild Savant syndrome, or Savant syndrome in general, Savant syndrome is usually seen with lower IQ and mental retardation. And you can be completely non-proficient in every single area of your life, but have that one area where you're spectacular at. Okay, I mean, I hate to use the comparison here, but think Rain Man. Even though Lucy's not Rain Man level, that's just giving you an example of what Savant syndrome is. Lucy has very high IQ. She's always had high IQ. She's always had high testing scores. She's always had high academic scores. They're always finding new ways to challenge her. So yesterday, she said, I also want to bring to your attention that I'm really convinced she has mild Savant syndrome. And she expressed that it's non-mental retardation related. Apparently, Savant syndrome is a whole spectrum in itself, okay? Like the autism spectrum is a huge spectrum of itself. Anxiety is a huge spectrum in itself. Apparently, Savant syndrome has a huge spectrum too. And Lucy's mild, only because she's not mentally handicapped. It's taken me a little bit of time to process this information, because if I look back at her mannerisms and how well she absorbs information and just how she articulates and how she presents herself, it makes sense to me. She would rather hang out with adults. She'd rather stay home and just watch all these science movies and TV shows and YouTube. Oh my gosh, YouTube. Thank you so much for YouTube, because I think this kid will be bored out of her mind if not for YouTube. If I go through my history list and show you everything she watches, it would literally blow your mind away. But that all makes sense to me. Another hurdle we're going to have to face, and don't get me wrong, I'm very glad she's carrying it with grace and dignity, but at the same time, she's not very sociable. I mean, she has a few classmates that she'll speak to and sit with at lunch, but if she had the choice in between hanging out with, smart adults all day or kids her own age, she's going to gravitate towards the adults because they have interesting things to say. They're smart, or smarter than a group of kids. It's just how she's always been. And believe me when I say it's a challenge to keep up with this kid. I'm always finding new and interesting ways just to keep her challenged. And it's just, Santa Claus needs to help me out this year, okay? Just find stuff that's going to help me integrate her IQ and science into her daily lifestyle. I guess that's the way I should phrase it. Oh, also what they were doing for school, they were putting during her testing, they would put activities in reading and math in front of her from the middle school. They would pull all these testing and all this material from the middle school. She would go through it easily. Then they pulled reading material and a couple math questions from high school. Blasted right past that too. So, yeah. It's going to get interesting here. Or it always has been interesting. Because, and I'm not quite sure why they're just now saying she has Savant syndrome. And here's what I think. Here's what I think happened. The same thing with autism. Sometimes it's really hard to diagnose because the spectrum is so vast and it varies from child to child. That's what I think happened. But, oh my gosh. So, I apologize for the quality of this last little bit. But I'm hiding out in my daughter's bedroom because the lighting in my bathroom is out. It's not the bulbs. I think there's a short in one of the wires. So I had to retreat to a different location to continue recording for the day. I posted on my Facebook page earlier about the whole Savant thing with Lucy, and that train ran off the rails almost instantly. I don't know if people got confused with the term Savant or if they just didn't understand the different levels that you can be, or somebody assumed that I wanted my daughter cured. No, first of all, there's a huge difference in between wanting support and needing support and finding the cure. No. There's a huge difference. You can't expect your child to do the best she can do without support. That's just how it is. And of course I have people commenting how I need to get actual therapists involved and not the school therapist. First of all, this is not my first time down this road. We've been dealing with this for years. In order for her to keep services in school, she has to go through a yearly review. If you look back on my YouTube channel, I believe I've recorded about that review last year too. But in order to keep services, she has to do a yearly review, and it's almost end of the year, so everybody's doing their reviews. So we have pediatrician, neurologist, psychiatrist, speech therapist. We have the school nurse. We have everybody on the same page. Everybody that we deal with medically and professionally are on the same page, and all are intertwined, and all of the medical professionals have my permission to intervene with anything academically, if that makes sense. Everything on the school's end and everything on the doctor's end, everybody has my permission to contact each other and to handle things as fast as possible. And if that means the doctors are going out to the school, which has happened before, and if that means the doctor and the pediatrician and the neurologist getting in contact with the school psychologist, which happens all the time, then that happens too. There's so many people involved. There's a huge team approach. I can't even begin to number the amount of people that have been involved so far, and she's only 8. She's almost 9. There's a huge list. So everybody that has to contact the school has my permission to do so, and vice versa. So we know what we're doing. I know everybody has their best intentions at heart, but this isn't our first rodeo with her. And obviously with Annie, we have the same road to kind of follow with all the doctors and all the school directives. It is what it is. And unless you are familiar with the process of how everything goes, it's a lot easier to have everything and everybody on the same page and approach it in the exact same way, so it can get handled a lot faster. I'm gonna let you guys go. I'm really tired. I worked a long shift. My husband isn't feeling too well right now. He was actually trying to fight the light in the bathroom to get it to work. It's probably what you hear, the background noise. But I will see you guys later. Oh, I'm pretty sure some of you actually saw the conversations on Facebook. Some of it's actually easier to ignore, because if you don't know the history behind my child, and if you don't know me personally, then you have no idea how I'm going to handle things. Which is, to say the least, I'm going to handle it very promptly and very swiftly. And I'm going to handle it as best as I can, which is getting as many people as involved as possible and on the same page with everything. So yeah, I'll see you guys later. Good night.